Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Coders Arcade. In this video, we are going to learn how to read Excel files with the help of Python. So for that, we will be using the Openpyxl module or the package. Before starting the video, I would like to request you people to please like and share our videos with your friends and family. And also subscribe to our channel Coders Arcade and press the bell icon so that you receive notifications about our latest updates. So let's get started. So as I said, today's topic is reading Excel files with the help of Python. So for that, you can use either Microsoft Excel or you can use any other software applications which support the file extensions, which is xlsx. And there are many other software applications like WPS Office and many more. And in my case, I will be using the WPS Office software. So let's get started. Here, as you can see on my screen, this is the Excel tutorial file, basic demo file, which I have created for you all. Let me open it. And in this, I have 4 sheets, as you can see here: info, product, student, and the final last sheet is empty, which is sheet 4. So in the first sheet, let me just zoom it for you. You can see I have 4 rows, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then I have 3 columns, 1, 2 and 3, and I have some dummy values which are, as you can see here, Tanmay, Chandan, Ujjwal, and these are the address: Whitefield, Mysore Road, Guntur, and etc. Then I have some dummy numbers 12, 13 and 14 in the first sheet. And in the second sheet, I have again some dummy values which are package, quantity, price. Then I have the name of some fruits which are orange, apple, kiwi. Then the quantity in kgs. And then I have the price. I have taken some normal values so that I can show you how to read these values with the help of Openpyxl. Then in the third sheet, I have some data which is name and roll number. Here I have some dummy names, and then I have the roll numbers, as you can see here. And final sheet, as I showed you, is empty. And let me also tell you something. One box is known as the cell, and it is represented as the column number and the row number. So it is a column and one row. So this box will be named A1. So now let us go on to our PyCharm so that I can show you how to read this Excel files. So I have my PyCharm opened, as you can see here. So first of all, let me just create a Python file. So before that, let me create a directory. Let the name of the directory be, say, Excel tutorial. So now you can see this directory has been created, and inside it, let me create my first Python file. So it will be something like this, say read Excel. Okay, this is our Python file. Now to read the Excel files, first let me copy the Excel file here. I will go back to my desktop, and here I will just copy this, and then I will paste it here in the same directory. So you can see it's asking me the permission. So okay, I will copy it, and you can see this Excel tutorial.xlsx has been copied here. So to read this Excel files, I have to install a module known as the Openpyxl, which is a module for reading and writing Excel files. In this video, we will be focusing on reading Excel files. I will be showing you how to read the data from this Excel files. For that, let me just install that module. For this, I will go to my terminal, and here I will use the command pip install Openpyxl and press enter. So you can see it's installing the packages and it's done. So let me just minimize this terminal, and now I can import this package by using the import statement. So when I write open, you can see it gives me the suggestion for this Openpyxl module. So I'll press enter, and then we have to create a variable so that we can load our Excel file. So for that, I will be taking our variable to be, say, workbook is equal to, then we have to call the Openpyxl module, and to use any methods inside this module, what we have to do is we have to use the dot operator, and as soon as I press dot, you can see it gives me all these methods which are inside this module. So I will use this load workbook method, and then inside double quotes I will give the name of my Excel file. As you can see here, the name is Excel tutorial. So I will write Excel, and it automatically tells me this suggestion. You can see here. So with this, the Excel file has been loaded here. So I'll press enter, and now side by side I have also opened the Excel file. I will show you. This is the Excel file, and then if you need to print the sheets here, so I have 4 sheets here, as you can see here: info, product, student, and sheet 4. So if you need to print the name of the sheets, what we can do is in PyCharm, let me minimize this project window for now so that I can show you the whole code window. I will take a variable, say sheets is equal to, then I will call my workbook, and if I use the dot operator, I get the option sheet names. So now if I print my variable sheets, and if I run this program, you will see that I will have the names of my sheets displayed on the console. So I will right click in the same window and run this Excel file, and now you can see that these are the names of the sheets of my Excel file, which are info, product, student, and sheet 4. So let me just show you to cross verify. You can see the first sheet name is info, then I have the second sheet which is product, then the third sheet name is student, and finally the sheet 4 I have left it as it is blank, and the name is sheet 4, as you can see here. So this is how you can display the sheet names. And let me again go to my PyCharm and minimize this console. Now suppose you want to print the title of the sheet which is active on your Excel file. So for that, what we need to do is, let me just check my Excel file. Here it is, and suppose I have this first sheet, the name of which is info, active in my Excel file. So if I want to print this title, what I need to do is I will go to my PyCharm again, and here I will print workbook dot active dot title. So if I run this now, you will find that the active worksheet title will be displayed on the console. So let me run it. So as you can see here, the name displayed here is info. So let me check it here, and you can see here the active worksheet is this info one. So it is working perfectly. So let me again go to my PyCharm and let me minimize this, and I hope you have understood this. So let me just comment these two parts out so that it doesn't create confusion when I write my next lines of code. So now let me take a variable, say sheet 1 is equal to, then here I have to use the name of my sheet. Let me just show you. The name is info here. So what I will do is I will call my workbook, and then inside square brackets I have to give the name of my sheet, which is info. And now suppose I have to store the value of any cell. Let me say this name Tanmay here. So this cell is A2, and if I want to print this value, what I will do is I will go to my PyCharm again, and here let me take a variable, say value is equal to, then I have to call the sheet1 variable, and then inside the square brackets I will give the name of that particular cell, which is A2, and then I will use the dot operator, and finally I have to write value. So now with this line of code, what I have done is I have stored the value of the A2 cell in this variable value. So let me check this value again. The value here is Tanmay. So let me see if I can print this value and get the correct output or not. So again I will be going to my PyCharm, and finally if I print this value variable and then if I run my program, let me see if I get the correct output. Yes, as you can see here, I'm getting the value Tanmay, which is there in this sheet 1 in the A2 cell. As you can see here, it is Tanmay. So if I then change the cell number, then I will be getting different values. Suppose say I want this value Chandan, then it is in the A3 cell. So for that I just have to change this number, which is 3. So if I run it now, I will get Chandan displayed here, as you can see here. And in the same way, if I change it to A4 and if I run it now, I will get Ujjwal, which is the final value. As you can see here, I am getting the correct output. So let me just check it. You can see the name is Ujjwal. So it is working perfectly. So now this was a simple way to store all the things in the variables and then get the value and print it directly. But now I will show you 3 separate methods with the help of which you can read the values of a cell inside an Excel sheet. So for that I will just do one thing. I will comment this out so that it does not create confusion, and then I will go to my next line, and let us start with the method 1. So in the method 1, what we can do is we can call our workbook, and then inside the square brackets we can write the name of the sheet, which is say info, which was the name of my first sheet, and then in another square bracket let me provide the suppose cell number or the name of the cell precisely. So it will be say suppose A3, and then what I have to do is I have to use the dot operator, and finally I have to write value. So if we want to print this, we can do it by using the print statement. And now if I run it, you will find that in my info sheet the value of the cell A3 will be printed. So let's just run it and check. I'm running it. So you can see Chandan has been printed. Let us check if in the info sheet the A3 value is Chandan or not. So I'm going to my Excel file again, and here you can see this is the A3 cell, and here the value is Chandan. Suppose we want to do it for any other cells. Suppose I want to check this address B2. So let me just do it. Here I will minimize this thing, and suppose here I will give it to B2, and now if I run it, I'm getting the address. As you can see here, it is Whitefield. So let us check. Yes, it is Whitefield. It's working perfectly. So this was the method 1 as I showed you here. So what you have to do is you have to write the name of your variable where you have initialized your workbook. Then you have to use the name of the sheet in quotes inside square brackets, and then you have to use the name of the cell, and finally you have to use the dot operator, and then you have to give the value. Then if you print it, you will get the output, or you can read the value from the Excel file. Then let us move on to method 2. In this case, what we can do is we can call this sheet1 variable. So I will do it, sheet1 variable. Then we can use the dot operator, and there is a method inside this Openpyxl which is cell. So then inside parenthesis I have to give the row and column numbers. So let me just check one thing inside the Excel file. So this is my first sheet, and here suppose I want to read this number which is 14. So for that, this is in the C4 cell number. So if we want to check the row and column, the row number will be 4 and the column number will be 1, 2, and this is 3. I will tell you once again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the row number 4 and the column number will be 1, 2, and 3. So 4 and 3. So let's go to our PyCharm again, and here we can give 4, comma, and then 3. Then again we have to use the dot operator, and finally we have to use value. So now if I directly print it, and if I run this, you can see I am getting 14. So it is working perfectly. As you can see in the Excel file, this is the number 14. So it's reading it properly and we are getting the answer. So let me just brief the method 2 once again. So what we did was we called our sheet1 variable as we have initialized here, sheet1, and then we use the method which is cell after the dot operator. Then inside the parenthesis we use the row and column number, and then after that we use the dot operator, and finally we wrote value. Then when we are printing this, we are getting the answer. Let me show it once again. So you can see we are getting the answer 14 here. So it is working properly. So let us move on to the method 3. So in method 3, let me just create another variable. Suppose sheet2 equal to workbook, and here I will be using the second sheet. Let me show you. This is the second sheet which is product, and here I have some decimal values. Let us see if we can read these values or not. So what I will do is I will create this variable sheet2 equal to workbook, and then inside square brackets I will use the name which is product. So with this we have created our sheet2 variable. Now in the method 3, to read this values we can call the sheet2, then we can use the dot operator, then we can use the cell method, and inside the parenthesis we can directly give the row and column numbers. Let me show you how to do it. For that we will write row is equal to, let me just go to my Excel file again, and here suppose this is the value which we want to read, 360.88. So the roll number will be 4 and the column number will be 3. So here the row number was 4 and the column number will be 3. Then dot value, and now if I run this, you can see that I am getting the price or the value which is 360.88. Let us take once again to confirm. Yes, it is the value 360.88. So in the method 3, let me just give a brief overview again. So in this method we are calling the sheet2 variable, then we are using the cell method, and then inside parenthesis we are giving the exact row and the column numbers with the row equal to and the column equal to parameters, and then we are using the dot operator, and finally we are writing value, and then when you print this, I will show you once again, we get the values. So this is how you can read this value. So I have showed you all the three methods as you can see here. Now suppose you want to print the number of rows and the number of columns in any sheet in your Excel file. So for that, what you need to do is you can create a variable, say rows is equal to, so let me take the sheet 1 only because that is my earlier variable, sheet 1 dot, and here we have to use max underscore row, and for columns I'm creating another variable, so sheet 1 dot max underscore column. And now if we print this rows and the columns, and now if I run this program, you can see that we will be getting the number of rows and number of columns in this sheet 1 or our first sheet, which is this info sheet. Let me just run this and show it to you. I'm running it, and you can see it displays the number of rows and the number of columns. To be precise, what we can do is we can use a formatted string, and then the number of rows is comma rows. This will be better, and let me just do it for the other one also, columns, and here let me change it to columns. Okay, now let me run this. Before that, let me give 2 spaces here so that it looks good, and then now let me run it. So here you can see it looks better. The number of rows is 4 and the number of columns is 3. And let me just take it once again. So here you can see in the info sheet, the number of rows is 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the number of columns is 1, 2 and 3. So it is working perfectly. And now suppose if we want to read the values in all the rows and columns, what we have to do is we have to use for loops. So for the rows we have to use one for loop so that we can read the rows, and for the columns we have to use another for loop so that we can read the columns. So it will be a nested for loop. So let me just show it to you. So let me minimize this thing, and here, so let me start writing the for loop. For, let me take the loop variable to be say a in, so I have to take the range. As we saw that the row numbers start from 1 to 4, so we can take 1 then comma, and here this is the number of rows and this is the number of columns. So what I will do is I will take rows, and here I have to tell you something very important. You should always remember that when we use the range function, it starts from this lower index and then it goes on to the index less than this value. So the rows will be till 4 and this range will go up till 3. But we want to read all the numbers from 1 till the number of rows. So for that, what we need to do is we have to give plus 1, then the colon, and let me write the inner for loop for b in range. So it will be 1 comma, then it will be columns plus 1 so that we can read all the columns. And here what I will do is I will print my sheet 1 dot, I will use the cell method, and then I will use my loop variables for the row and the column numbers. So it will be A comma B, and then after this inside parenthesis I will give the dot operator, then I will use my value method. So this is done. This is a nested for loop, this is the outer for loop, and this is the inner for loop, and then inside this we have used the print statement so that we can print the values of all the cells in our sheet 1. Our sheet 1 is this sheet which is info, and here we have this values: name, Tanmay, Chandan, Ujjwal, address, Whitefield, Mysore Road, Guntur, and all these things. So now let us check if it is working properly or not. I will go to my PyCharm and then let me run this file. I'm running it. So here you can see it is displaying all the values. So name, then address, then number, and this is for the first column Tanmay, second column Whitefield, then the number was 12, as you can see here, Tanmay, Whitefield, 12, and then we are getting for the second row which is Chandan, then Mysore Road, the address, and the number was 13, and then for the third row Ujjwal, then Guntur, then the number 14. So this is how we can use a for loop and read the values from the Excel file. So with this we have come to the end of this tutorial. In this tutorial I have showed you how you can use the Openpyxl module and read data from Excel files. You need to remember that the extension should be xlsx, as you can see here. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. In my next video, I will show you how to write data into our Excel file. Stay tuned and see you in our next video. Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Coder's Arcade. In today's video, I will be showing you how to write data into Excel files. For that, we will be using the WPS Office software application. Before starting the video, I would like to request to people to please like and share our videos and subscribe to our channel Coder's Arcade and press the bell icon so that you receive notifications regarding our latest updates. Thank you. So let's get started. So let me show you my earlier program where I showed you how to read data from an Excel file. And here is our Excel file as I showed you in my earlier program. This is the Excel file, and here we have the sheets info, product, student, and the final sheet, sheet 4, is vacant, as you can see here. So we read data from this Excel file and we got the output in the PyCharm console. So let me show you the program. Here in PyCharm, you can see this was the Excel file, as you can see here, Excel tutorial.xlsx, and then we had this Python file readexcel.py. And here we use the Openpyxl module, and then we created our workbook variable where we loaded the workbook, as you can see here, Excel tutorial.xlsx. And then we created a variable sheets where we saw the names of our sheets, and then finally I showed you 3 methods by which you can read the values from the cells in an Excel file. So this was the method 1 where we use the workbook, and then we use the name of our sheets and the cell names, and then use the dot operator, then gave value and got the output. And then in the method 2 we use the sheet or the sheet 1 which I created here. As you can see, this sheet 1 had the sheet info, which is my first sheet, as you can see in this Excel file. And then what I did was I used the cell method by using the dot operator, and then we used the row and the column numbers. The row number was 4 and the column number was 3, and then we used the dot value method so that we could print the value in that particular cell. And in the method 3 we created another sheet 2 variable where we took the second sheet. As you can see here, product. Let me show you that sheet. Here it is, product, and then we rate this decimal value from this Excel file. And then what I did was I created two variables, rows and columns, and then I used my sheet 1 variable. Then after the dot operator, I used max underscore row, and for columns I used max underscore column, so that I could print the number of rows and the number of columns by using this print statements. And finally, to read all the data from that sheet, what I did was I used nested for loops, and inside that I used my loop variables, as you can see here, by using the cell method, and then I read the values. So when I run this program, I got the values. Let me show you. I'm running it, and you can see these are the particular values of that Excel sheet. So let me show you that thing. Here is my Excel file, and these are the values of this info sheet, sheet 1. Let me show you again. This is the program here, and this is the sheet 1 variable which refer to our first sheet. As you can see here, workbook info, and from this we read all the values. Now I will show you how to write data into an Excel sheet. So for that, what I will do is I will take my sheet 1 variable, and then I will use the cell method, and inside the parenthesis I will give the row and the column numbers, and then I will say row equal to, say, suppose, let me show you the Excel file once again. Here in this row I want values. So let me take some dummy names and some dummy values for this rows and this cells. So what I will do is I will go to my PyCharm again, and here I will give the row number to be 5, and then the column number to be 1, and then we can also provide the value is equal to, let the first value be, say, David, and let me just copy this thing, and here I will just paste this in 3 lines, and I will just change the column number to 2, and here I will make it 3, and let me just change the values. So this value, let it be the address, let it be MG Road, and let the value for this cell be, let it be, say, 5. Now we have one option called workbook, which is my variable workbook. Then we have one option called save, and here you can see it asks me the file name. So inside the parenthesis, if I provide the name of my particular Excel file, as you can see here, Excel tutorial.xlsx, then it will override the values in this current Excel file. Let me show you how to do it. I will just name my file .xlsx, and now if I run this, let me show you what will happen. I am running it, and let me just do one thing. I will open this Excel file. For that I will right click, and you can see this option, open in Explorer, and here you can see, let me maximize it. I will just open it, and let me just maximize this thing also. Okay, you can see here in the 5th row we have got values updated in this cell, David, MG Road, and 5. Let me show you the program once again. So you can see David, MG Road, and then the value 5 have been updated. So here you can check. So this is the one, yeah, David, MG Road, and 5. So let me just close it, and let me close the earlier one as well. So now if you want to create a new Excel file and save it, what you need to do is you can do it by giving the name, say updated file.xlsx, and now if I run this, so let me just show you. You can see in this directory where I have written my readexcel.py file, you can see I have another file which is the updated file.xlsx. So if I open it, open in Explorer, and if I show it to you, so let me maximize it, and this is the updated file. As you can see here, I will just open it for you. So here you can see this is the name, updated file.xlsx, and here are the new values which are David, MG and 5. So it is working perfectly. So this is an example. Let me just close it and close this window as well. And here this is an example where you can load an Excel file and then you can update the values to the existing Excel file, and also you can save it to a new file if you want. Then suppose if you want to create a new Excel file, then what you have to do is, I will just show you. Let me just create another Python file here. So here in this same directory, I will create one new Python file, and let me give the name write to Excel, and then press enter. So here I will write everything from scratch so that you can understand properly. So here I will use the from import statement, and then what I will do is from Openpyxl I will import the workbook class. Then I will create an instance or an object workbook of this class, which is the workbook class, and then I have to give the parenthesis. So if you are not familiar with object-oriented programming, you can go to the link in the description. I will give you the video link where we have explained the object-oriented programming concepts in Python very well. So you can go to that video and brush up your skills regarding object-oriented programming. So here what I have done is I have done the process of instantiation, and I have created an instance or an object called the workbook, which will belong to this class workbook. So now suppose if I want to print the title of my active sheet, what I can do is I will use the print statement, and then I can call my workbook object, and then I can use the dot operator and give active dot title. So when I run this, I will be getting the name of my active sheet. So let me run it for you. I will right click and then I will run write to Excel. So here you can see it is sheet. So let me just tell you what is actually happening here. So I will open my WPS Office application, and here if I go to spreadsheets, and now if I open suppose a blank Excel sheet, here you can see that the first sheet is named sheet 1, and this will be the active sheet by default. So this is what actually is happening in my program here. So when I print the workbook.active.title, it is actually printing the title of the active sheet. So here in the run console window, I'm getting this sheet as the name of that title. So now if I want to print the sheet names, what I can do is I can use the print statement, and then I can use my workbook object, and then I can use the dot operator and use the method sheet names, as you can see here. So now if I run it, I will get the sheets. So let me run it. So here you can see the sheet names is actually only one sheet, which is here, sheet, as you can see here. So this is what actually is happening here. Whenever we create a blank workbook, then the first sheet will be active, and this is actually displayed in this program after I run it. So you can see in the run window, this is the name of the sheet, which is sheet. So let me just comment these two lines of code so that you don't get confused. And now let me give a title to my first sheet. So for that I will call my workbook object, and then inside square braces and inside quotes I will give the name of my sheet as you saw in this console. As you can see here, this is the name of the sheet. So after that I can assign a title to this sheet. So let me give the dot operator, and if I write title equal to, and inside quotes I can give any name to this sheet. So let it be, suppose, a progress card for some students. I want to make a progress card or a result card for the students. So let it be progress card, and then let me create a sheet1 variable, and here what we can do is we can say that this sheet1 will be the active sheet. So for that we have to call our workbook, and then we have to use the dot operator and assign this active. So with this we can say that this sheet1 will be the active sheet. Now after that what we need to do is we have to create a sheet object so that we can input data into our Excel file. So for that what I will do is I'll use my sheet1 variable, and then inside square brackets I will give the name of the cells. So first will be A1, and then I can assign values. So value is equal to, say, as I said, I am making a progress card for students. So let the first cell be student name, and let me just copy this thing because I will be doing the same thing for many number of cells. So here now as it is A1, then for the second cell it will be B1, and then for the third cell it will be C1. Similarly it will be A2, B2 and C2, and finally it will be A3, B3 and C3. Now for the second column what I will do is I will take the marks, so let it be marks, and for the third column let it be the result, which may be pass or fail. And so in the second row I have to give the name of the student, so let it be, say, David, and then this will be the marks, so let it be around, say, 65, and then this will be the result, which will be either pass or fail. So let it be pass, and here I have made a mistake. This should be outside of quotes so that it is recognized as a number or an integer. Then here again this will be the name of the student, and it should be, say, suppose, Robert, and this will be the marks, and it should be outside quotes. So let the marks be, say, 25, and this will be the result. So if it is 25, let it be, say, fail, capital F. Okay, now this is done. So here this is an entirely new workbook. So if I have to save it, what I need to do is I have to call my workbook object, then use the save method, and here suppose I want to save it with a different name, then what I will do is I will give a name inside quotes. Say the name is, suppose, result dot xlsx, and now if I run this I will get a new workbook which is result. Let me run it for you. So here let me just show you one thing. We are not printing anything here. So when I run this, and inside in the console you can see there is nothing printed in the console. It just says process finished with exit code 0. That means our program has no errors. So it is all good. Now here you can see inside my Excel tutorial directory we have got a new Excel file which is result.xlsx. Now let me just open it in the Explorer so that I can show you. So here You can see this is the result workbook. I will open it and let me just zoom it for you. Okay, so here you can see this is the name progress card as we provided. Let me show you here. So this is the name progress card, and these are the results or the values: David 65, pass, and Robert 25, and then fail. So let me just cross verify. Here you can see David 65 and pass, and here Robert 25 and fail. So this is working all perfectly. Now suppose you want to save the same workbook in desktop. So for that, what you need to do is, let me just comment this part out, and again I will use my workbook object, then use the dot save method, and inside the parenthesis I have to provide the proper destination address so that I can save it to my desktop. So for that, I will just go to my desktop, and here you can see this is the earlier file which I created here, which is Excel tutorial. I will just right click on this, and then I will go to properties, and here you can see this is the address or the location. So I will just copy it and I will close it, and then I will go to my PyCharm again, and here inside quotes I will provide this address. But you can see that it is getting a gray color highlighted text, so that means this address is not proper. So for that, what we need to do is we need to give double backward slash, then only the address will be correctly read. So I'm giving the double backward slashes here also, and let it be here also. So after this desktop, we have to provide the name of our file. So let the name of the file be, say, final.xlsx. So now if I run this program, you will see that we will have one final.xlsx workbook in our desktop. So let me run it. So here there is nothing printed and we don't have any errors in our program. So now let me go to the desktop, and here you can see this is the final Excel sheet or the Excel file. Let me open it and let me just zoom it for you. And here you can see we have all these values: David 65, pass, Robert 25, and fail. So this is how you can create a new Excel file and also write data to it. As you can see, we have this data: David 65, Robert 25, pass and fail, and then we save this file to the desktop by using this process. As you can see here, this is the way, and you need to remember that you have to provide double backward slashes here, otherwise you will not be able to save the location properly. Now let me provide you a real-time scenario so that you can understand more about writing data to Excel files, and in a very good way. So suppose we need to highlight the cells using colors so that we can distinguish the results. What I mean is, if I go to my Excel file once again, and this is the one final, and here suppose here this pass and fail are two cells, and what I need to do is I just want to say that if the student has passed, then this color will be highlighted in green, and if the student has failed, then the color will be highlighted in red. So for that, we can do it manually by going to this option, fill color, and then I can go to this option where we have the green color, and I can click on this, and you can see this is turned green. And similarly for this cell also, if I go to fill color and if I put it to red, it will be automatically turned red. But this has been done manually by us by going to this option. What if we want to do the same thing by automating it with the help of Openpyxl and Python? So for that, what we need to do is, let me tell you, we have to use a class known as the pattern fill. So for that, let me show you what we have to do. I will go to my browser and here I will type working with styles in Openpyxl and press enter. So here you can see we have this working with styles Openpyxl 3.0.7 documentation. If I click on this, so if I scroll down, you can see here this is the pattern fill class. If we use this, we can provide colors to the cells. So for that, this is the syntax as you can see here. From openpyxl.styles import pattern fill. So I will do that. So here in my PyCharm, if I go on top and I have to import from openpyxl.styles, I have to import the class which is pattern fill. And then as I said, let me go to my Excel file once again. Here you see this is the cell which is C2. I want it to be green, and this is the cell C3. I want it to be red. So let me again go to my PyCharm, and here this is C2, and after this what I will do is I will call my sheet1 variable, and then inside square brackets I will give the name of my cell which is C2, and then I will use the dot fill method, then equal to, I have to call my pattern fill class. As you can see, as I type P, the pattern fill option gets suggested. Then if I press enter, and inside the parenthesis, first you can see it is asking me for the pattern type. Then it is asking me for the FG color or the foreground color. So in the double quotes, I will provide the pattern type which is solid, and after the comma I will give FG color equal to, but here the question is we have to know the color codes. So for that what we need to do is I will go again to my browser, and here I will open one new tab, and then we need to go to this website which is htmlcolorcodes.com and press enter. Now you can see we are into this page and we have all the colors here. So if I drag this bar down and if I go to this green, you can see I'm getting this green color. Let me just go to a darker color. So here you can see this is a color code. I will just copy it, and then I will go to my PyCharm again, and here inside double quotes I will paste this color code. So this was the green color, and similarly if I copy this thing, and now for the fail cell I want the color to be red, so I will paste this thing here, and similarly what I need to do is I have to change this thing here. It will be C3, and then the pattern type will be solid and the foreground color will be the red color. So for that I have to copy the red color. Let me just go back to my browser, and if I scroll this bar up, and here you can see this is the red color. Okay, and if I copy this thing, and again if I go to my PyCharm and if I paste this, so with this I have done the similar thing. So for this is green, and for this is red. So now what I will do is I will not save this. Let me just close this file, and it will ask me the option to save or not. So I will not save it. Now I will minimize this and also minimize my PyCharm and this browser, and let me just delete this file which was created earlier, and let me go to my PyCharm again. Now this work is done. So let me just run it for you once again. I'm running it. So here you can see there is no error in our code and it is printing nothing because we are not using any print statement here. We are just changing the colors of the cells. So now if I go to my desktop, and you can see again the final Excel sheet has been created. And now if I open this, you can see that it has been changed. So here the color for pass is green and the color for fail is red. So this is how you can automate the colors in the cells in an Excel file. As I said, you have to go to the browser and then you have to go to this website, which is htmlcolorcodes.com. You don't need to worry about it. I will give the link in the description so that you can follow it. So let me go to my PyCharm again. So here, as you saw, we use the Openpyxl module from which we imported the workbook. Then we created a variable or an instance of the class workbook. Then we created a sheet 1. Inside the sheet 1, we created the cells and we provided the values, which are the student names, and the name of the sheet was progress card. And finally, to distinguish between the pass and fail cells, what I did was I used the color code by importing the pattern field class and then by using the fill method and using this color codes. As you saw, this is the color code for green and this is the color code for red. And finally, we saved the workbook to our desktop. So this is how you can write data into a new Excel file which you have created on your own. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you liked it, please share it with your friends and do comment in the comment section. And if you have any doubts regarding the video, post your comments in the comment section. I will try to solve your queries and your doubts. See you in our next video.